Think your Toyota can only last 200,000 miles? You're wrong. There is a reason why Toyotas are considered the most trusted vehicles in the world. No matter the model, their engines are made to last even 300,000 miles or more. Sounds like a lot? Yes, it's possible, but with the right maintenance. Skip the care and even the best car won't make it. In this video, I'll show you authentic tips by real Toyota mechanics to keep your car running strong for years. No fancy tools are needed, just the right step taken at the right time. So stick around, because these 13 tips will make your car last longer than you think. Let's get started. Number 1. Change your engine oil at the right time. Alright, let me be straight with you. I've worked on Toyotas for years, and if there's one thing I see messing up a good engine faster than anything else, it's skipped oil changes. Oil is your engine's lifeline. It keeps everything moving, cooled, and protected. But when that oil gets old, thick, or dirty, it stops doing its job. That's when the real damage starts. Metal rubbing against metal, overheating, and parts wearing out way too soon. I've seen engines that could have lasted 300,000 miles, ruined by one too many missed oil changes. The good news? It's one of the easiest things to stay on top of. Most Toyotas need fresh oil every 5,000 to 6,000 miles, but always double-check your owner's manual. If your engine sounds louder than usual, the oil looks black and gritty, or that dashboard light pops on, don't wait. And yes, you can do it yourself. All it takes is a wrench, a drain pan, some gloves, and maybe 30 minutes of your time. $30 to $60 for supplies, and you're done. Way better than a $4,000 engine repair, trust me. Bottom line, regular oil changes are the cheapest insurance for your Toyota's engine. Skip it now, and you'll pay for it later. I see it all the time. Don't let that be your story. Number 2. Clean your battery terminals. Do you ever turn the key and nothing happens? Yeah, it's one of the worst feelings, especially when you're in a hurry. Most folks think the battery's dead, but many times the real issue is right there on top. That white or bluish gunk sitting on the terminals. That stuff is corrosion, and it's not just ugly, it blocks the battery's connection. That means your car might not get the power it needs to start. Let it build up, and eventually, you're stuck with a dead battery. And trust me, replacing one can cost over $250. Need a tow? That number just got a lot higher. Here's the simple fix. Open the hood, grab a $5 wire brush, and clean the battery terminals. That's it. No fancy tools, no mechanic. Just 5 minutes in your driveway. I recommend doing it twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. It's easy, cheap, and it works. I've seen way too many people get stranded over something this simple. Don't be one of them. Let's talk about another most important thing. Number 3. Engine coolant. Specifically, the pink coolant used in most modern Toyotas. Years ago, red coolant was common, but that's old news now. If you're serious about keeping your Toyota on the road for 300,000 miles, here's one thing I want you to remember. Change your coolant every 50,000 miles or every 5 years, whichever comes first. You'll hear all kinds of advice out there. Some say, wait until 100,000 or even 150,000 miles. Don't. I've seen too many good cars pay the price for waiting too long. Here's why it matters. Coolant doesn't just lose its power as it ages, it turns acidic. And when that happens, it starts eating away at the engine from the inside. It attacks seals. It corrodes metal. And in Toyotas, one of the first parts to suffer is usually the water pump. The acid wears down the seals and bearings, and suddenly you've got a leaky or noisy pump. Even worse, it can start wearing down the coolant passages. That leads to leaks, either on the outside of the engine or worse, into the combustion chamber. That means misfires, error codes, white smoke, and eventually big repairs. If you're driving a hybrid, don't forget the inverter coolant either. Same problem. I've seen plenty of inverters damaged just because the coolant wasn't changed in time. All of this is avoidable. Stick to the 50,000-mile 5-year rule and your cooling system will stay healthy. It's a small thing that makes a big difference. Trust me, coolant is cheap. repairs aren't. If you are enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice for my Toyota guys. Number 4. Transmission fluid. Let's talk transmission fluid, because it's more important than people realize, especially if you want your Toyota to last 300,000 miles. For most non-hybrid Toyotas, you should replace the transmission fluid every 60,000 miles or 6 years. For hybrids, aim for somewhere between 60,000 and 90,000 miles. That might sound like a wide range, but here's the truth. Transmissions are a delicate balance. Changing the fluid too early or too often can be just as harmful as never changing it at all. I've seen people flush the fluid too aggressively or too frequently, and it actually made things worse. But I've also seen the damage when it's never touched until it's too late. Here's what's happening inside. Your transmission has clutches that wear down over time, and those tiny particles float in the fluid. Sounds bad, but a bit of that debris actually helps the clutch's grip. Too much debris, you risk clogging the valves and causing shifting problems. But remove all of it too soon or too often, and the clutches lose that extra grip and may start slipping. That's why I recommend a simple drain and fill every 60,000 miles. It gets some of the old fluid and debris out, but not all of it. Just the right balance. Always use the correct Toyota fluid. For most automatics and even hybrids, that's Toyota WS fluid. If you have a CVT, you'll likely need CVTFE fluid. Don't gamble with universal fluids. When things go wrong, the aftermarket brand won't be there to help, but your repair bill will be. And for hybrids, while they don't have traditional clutches or valve bodies, their fluid still collects metal particles over time. That's why it's a good idea to change hybrid transmission fluid too. Keeps things clean and helps avoid long-term gear wear. Number 5. Brake fluid. Let's not forget about brake fluid. It's one of those things most drivers never think about, but it plays a huge role in your safety. Brake fluid helps transfer the force from your foot to the brakes, so when you press the pedal, the car actually stops. If that fluid gets old, dirty, or low, your braking power can drop fast. I've seen it happen too often. A soft or spongy pedal, longer stopping distance, or even a brake warning light on the dash. These are signs your fluid may need attention. In Toyotas, I recommend changing the brake fluid every 3 to 5 years, or follow what braking performance and even damage brake parts from the inside out. Fresh fluid should be clear to light amber. If it looks dark or murky, it's time for a change. Now, topping it off is simple. Just use the correct fluid type, DOT3 or DOT4 depending on your model. The reservoir is right under the hood. Add fluid slowly and don't overfill. If you're bleeding the brakes, the pedal should feel firm afterward, not soft or squishy. Always take a short test drive afterward to make sure everything feels right. Clean brake fluid won't just help your car stop better, it gives you peace of mind every time you drive. It's a small job that makes a big difference, especially when it matters most. Number 6. Power steering fluid. Let's talk about power steering fluid, but first, check if your Toyota even has it. A lot of newer models now use electric power steering, which means no fluid at all. But if you've got an older model with hydraulic power steering, then yes, this fluid matters. It helps you turn the wheel smoothly, and when it's low or dirty, you'll feel it and hear it. That high-pitched whining sound when turning, that's usually a sign the fluid's low. Keep driving like that, and you could damage the power steering pump, which isn't cheap to replace. Now, if your car does have power steering fluid, it's a good idea to replace it every 50,000 to 70,000 miles. Over time, the fluid gets dark and you'll see tiny debris in it. That's your sign. It's time for a change. The reservoir is usually easy to spot under the hood. It's got hot and cold level markings. Just check when the engine's at the right temperature. If it's low, top it up with the correct type of fluid. Here's one important thing I've learned in the shop. Don't just use automatic transmission fluid, even if the manual says so. Sure, Toyota used to recommend it, but transmission fluid has different additives that aren't ideal for your steering system. Use a proper power steering fluid that's compatible with Toyota's. You don't need to buy Toyota's $200 fluid. Go to any auto parts store, grab a trusted brand that works for your model, and you're good. That's exactly what most dealerships do, and it works just fine. Number 7. Differential and transfer case fluid. Now let's talk about something most drivers forget: differential and transfer case fluid. If you're driving a Toyota truck, SUV, or anything with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, this one's for you. These systems work hard behind the scenes to deliver power to all your wheels, especially in tough conditions like snow, mud, or towing. And just like engine oil, their fluids need to be changed to keep everything running smoothly. I recommend replacing the differential and transfer case fluid every 30,000 miles. Especially for the first service, don't skip it. After that, if you don't do a lot of towing or off-road driving, you might stretch it to 60,000 miles. But honestly, I don't suggest waiting that long. This fluid is cheap, especially if you're doing it yourself, and replacing it is pretty straightforward. It's one of those things that gives you peace of mind for very little effort. Now, Toyota does sell their own fluid, but let's be real, it's overpriced. You don't need to spend a fortune. Just make sure the fluid you buy matches the correct GL rating, GL-3, GL-5, etc. for your vehicle. Stick with a known brand. Follow the manual, and you'll be just fine. Number 8. Check your car's air filter. Here's something simple that makes a real difference: your air filter. Think of it like your Toyota's lungs. Just like you need clean air to breathe, your engine does too. The air filter blocks out dirt, dust, bugs, and tiny debris before that air enters the engine. When the filter is clean, your engine runs smoother, burns fuel more efficiently, and puts out fewer emissions. But when it's clogged, now your engine has to work harder to pull in air. That means worse gas mileage, slower performance, and over time, even engine trouble. The good news: this one's an easy win. Most air filters need to be changed every 12,000 to 15,000 miles, or about once a year. Check your owner's manual to find the exact location and interval for your model. And honestly, you can often replace it yourself in just a few minutes. No tools, no mechanic. Just pop open the box, swap the filter, and close it back up. It's a small thing, but it adds up. A clean air filter keeps your engine healthier, saves you money at the pump, and helps your Toyota run the way it's meant to: quiet, smooth, and efficient. Number 9. Spark plugs. Now let's talk about spark plugs. They're not a fluid, but they're just as important. I see a lot of folks make two big mistakes with spark plugs: changing them too early or using the wrong ones. And believe it or not, both can actually cause more harm than good. If your engine is running well and you've kept up with regular maintenance, most Toyotas are set for spark plug replacement every 120,000 miles. Some newer V6 models, like the 2G RFKS engine, need them at 60,000 miles. So check your manual or service sticker to be sure. When it's time to replace them, use the original plugs. Not just the same type, the same exact part number. You can pull one out and read the number and brand, then match it. I've had people try to save a few bucks with aftermarket options, and it ends up costing more when the engine runs rough or throws codes. For something you only change every 60,000 to 120,000 miles, it's just not worth the risk. Go OEM and be done with it. Also, if your car's getting older and it's been about 10 years, even if you haven't hit the mileage yet, I recommend either replacing the plugs or at least removing and reinstalling them. Why? Because spark plugs can seize in place over time, especially in aluminum heads. I've seen plugs snap off after 15 years because they were never touched. A quick check now saves a big headache later. So keep it simple, change them at the right time, and use the right plugs. Number 10. Check your battery. Let's not forget your 12-volt battery. It may be small, but it's the heart of your Toyota's electrical system. If your car won't start, takes forever to crank, or your lights seem dim, this battery might be the reason. It powers everything from your interior lights to your engine starter, so when it starts to go weak, your whole car feels it. Most Toyota batteries last between 3 to 5 years, but I've seen well-maintained ones push closer to 10 years. Still, I always recommend checking it regularly so you're not left stranded. All you need is a simple multimeter, which you can grab at any auto parts store. Just touch the red lead to the positive terminal and the black to the negative. If the reading is below 12.4 volts, it's a sign the battery may need a charge, or it might be time for a replacement. And when it is time to replace it, expect to spend anywhere from $300 to $500 depending on your car. That's not pocket change, but it beats paying for a tow on a cold morning when your car won't start. Bottom line, keep an eye on your battery, especially after that 3-year mark. Number 11. Serpentine belt. Let's talk about something most people overlook: the serpentine belt. It might just look like a rubber strap wrapped around some pulleys, but it's doing a lot of work under the hood. This one belt powers your alternator, power steering, air conditioning, and sometimes even the water pump. So when it fails, you don't just lose one thing, you could lose everything at once. That's why I always tell people, check it once in a while. Pop the hood and give it a quick look. If you see cracks, fraying, or shiny glazing, that's your sign it's time for a new one. Don't wait for it to snap. I've had customers stuck on the side of the road because they didn't know how important that belt really was. Most Toyotas need the serpentine belt replaced somewhere around 100,000 miles depending on the model. Your owner's manual will tell you what's best. The belt itself isn't expensive, and it's not a hard job for a mechanic or even a confident DIYer. Number 12. Timing belt. The timing belt keeps your engine's parts moving in perfect sync, like the crankshaft and camshafts. If it snaps, it can cause serious engine damage, and that's a repair nobody wants to deal with. That's why replacing it on schedule is so important. Most Toyotas need a new timing belt every 60,000 to 100,000 miles, but check your owner's manual to be sure. It's a big job, but skipping it could cost you an engine. Number 13. Besides remembering these schedules, one thing you must keep in mind is use genuine Toyota parts. If you're serious about keeping your Toyota running strong for the long haul, here's a golden rule: use genuine Toyota parts. I can't stress this enough. I've seen way too many cars come into the shop with problems caused by cheap aftermarket parts. They may look the same, they may even fit the same, but trust me, they don't always work the same, and when they fail, it can lead to bigger issues that cost you even more to fix. Toyota parts are engineered specifically for your vehicle. That means they fit right, perform the way they should, and last longer. Whether it's spark plugs, sensors, filters, or even small clips and hoses, genuine parts are built to match your car's specs perfectly. They're tested, backed by Toyota, and the same ones your car had when it rolled off the assembly line. Now, I get it. Genuine parts can cost a bit more up front, but they also save you money in the long run by preventing repeat repairs, poor performance, and damage caused by low-quality materials. And let's be honest, when your goal is to hit 300,000 miles, you don't want to be cutting corners on something as simple as a part, so don't roll the dice. Stick with these tips. They take little time, but make a big difference in how your car drives, how long it lasts, and how much you'll spend over time. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.